Welcome, friends. Every week, the Circle of Hope pastors get together and we have 9 minutes of unscripted dialogue around a question that somebody is asking or that we're asking ourselves. So this week, we're thinking about why do we watch too much? Why do we watch so much TV? What is it doing to us? Should we blow up Netflix? Joshua, can you get us started?
Statistics and stuff are mind-boggling. You know, if you ever want to get depressed about the state of humanity, look up how many hours does the average American spend watching TV a day. And it's at least like last year I think it was over 2 hours a day. And some people just kind of let it run. It's like a friend that's in the house, and we build these relationships with characters or with narcissistic projections that sometimes comfort us, sometimes get us, help us escape from the problems of the day. And some of those things can be really good. We can learn lessons through stories, narrative, or documentary, whatever. But the people watching TV, and when I say that, I'm glad we brought in like Netflix with streaming stuff. Some people say like, I don't watch TV, but then they watch all this streaming stuff or, peer-to-peer file sharing stuff, and it's like it's the same thing. Why are we dipping into narrative, corporation produced stuff so often? I think it's a good question, and I think a lot of it has to do with trying to find rest.
I'll give you two more reasons why I watch TV. The first one, I don't find it particularly restful, but I do find it entertaining. There are a few TV shows that I have an intimate relationship with. It sounds so bad to even say that, because how can you even relate to TV? But I like Seinfeld too much. It could be a problem. So that's one section, one reason I would watch TV. But another one is I have to because it's influencing the culture. I have to because everyone is. Everyone's watching TV, and I'm trying to relate to the world. I'm kind of channeling my inner Paul, being all things to all people. We have to redeem the TV watchers, and so I need to see what they're consuming to be able to figure out how to reach them even. So there's a strategic reason behind it, why I watch those shows, or at least how I turn my craving for entertainment into something better.
Johnny, do you still go back and watch Seinfeld again now? Like, do you just have it all memorized?
No comment.
Because Joshua talked about the narcissistic personality, and it was on recently, and I was just what is funny is people being children, being totally self-obsessed, just living in their own world. That is what is really funny on television, and it's still true on like newer shows that aren't 30 years old, like Seinfeld. It's like 30 years old now.
Yeah, they're mean to each other. They're really terrible people. I mean, no.
And that's what I'm getting at. Being mean is funny, and then I like to watch like a lot of the like gruesome shows, like The Leftovers and Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead. All this really like I love that stuff, but I don't know if I successfully make the turn that you're talking about, Johnny. I think that sometimes as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh gosh, this just isn't good for my soul. Don't you guys feel that way sometimes? Crickets. I guess not. I'm the only one. I'm the only one worried about my soul.
What do you guys think? Is it good for your soul?
I think you really have to do something with it. Rather than just judging yourself for how much TV you're watching, which you could be watching too much instead of like worshiping or praying or reading the Bible or something like that. And we can evaluate your time management strategy or your avoidance or whatever's happening. But if you can take what you're learning on the TV, learn about culture, learn about people, and then use it for Jesus, for a mission, for a purpose, I think that can be a way that you can redeem it. But I may be just trying to justify the fact that I like to watch those shows too.
Now,
A friend of mine had an interesting fast a few years ago for Lent where he said that he wasn't going to watch any movies or TV by himself. And I thought that was like, that's a potent stand to take because so much of this stuff also, isn't social. It's kind of like I'm going into like the space that is my, time to do with what I want, and kind of binge watching shows and things like that are, I think, potentially more dangerous than, say, meeting up after the Sunday meetings to watch The Walking Dead with 10 people and eating food and including somebody into the social group and talking about like the leadership and loyalty, betrayal, all the kind of the concepts in the show that really is why the show is compelling, not so much just gore or something, but like being able to even process like, hey, what's really going on here with these people and what's going on with us.
I
Yeah,
like
that's
watching it with people too because I never know what's happening in the show, and my friends can usually help me understand.
Yeah, I think Joshua, though, you were hitting on something that is most compelling and most people recognize it. I think it's pretty neat how the shows that are really popular right now do get at kind of the crux of human existence and deal with the ambiguity of good and evil and the swirl of emotions that is like everyday life. It's actually good art because it exposes us to ourselves and we can relate in a real way, and it's not just this kind of transparent hero and all that. So it's worth reflecting on. But like the idea of binge watching, I think is universal, and I think we could all just figure out how to repent of that and get a lot more done, like dismantle systems of oppression with our spare time instead.
yeah, Ben, I think you're getting into like what do we do with it? And I think it is useful because pop culture is always channeling some basic questions, spiritual questions that we have, and what conclusions are we coming to? I know that my kids get so annoyed because I make them talk back to the TV and talk about what we're or even the radio. What are we hearing? What's the message? What do you think about that? So our response, I think, is important and could even lead us to do good things with the questions and ideas that we're consuming.
Mm.
I think we're about out of time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for talking, pastors, and I hope you tune in next week.